Gen Z Podcast. Welcome to the Gen Z Podcast. I'm your host, Rizaan, and to my left is the man that you love to see. That works on my nerves. Week in, week out. Jean-Pierre.
Hello everyone.
Jackson.
Hello everyone. How are you doing, Rizaan?
I'm
How's your stress levels this week? Are you?
It's Koesisters coming out on a Wednesday.
And the man in the middle today
Let's go.
is the Casual Dork to some people,
Yeah.
and it's Sulaiman.
Sulaiman, yeah.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Sulaiman.
Welcome. Thank you.
What's the Gavi? What's the name and surname?
Sulaiman Hassiem.
Hassiem. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
No middle
boy.
name?
No middle name. No.
Muslims don't roll like that.
Not usually.
Yeah.
Like we'll sometimes throw in like a Muhammad at
Muhammad,
the beginning.
yeah.
A pre.
Oh, you a
pre-name.
Muhammad?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Just Sulaiman Hassiem.
Humble. So we like to ask the guests, like a bit of a life orientation question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
The life history.
For 5 marks,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just like, who is Sulaiman Hassiem? But I think, before you answer that question, we are going to ask you about Casual Dork separately.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just like, let's get into who you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Outside of
There we
the
go.
Yes,
podcast
yes.
place.
Outside of
Okay.
the
Yes,
technology.
please.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm in an interview now.
Yeah.
Job interview. Tell me about yourself. So yeah, I mean, Sulaiman, Southern Suburbs boy.
Let's go.
Most of the time, I feel like I had to bring Padkos with me to come all the way to the north. But yeah, I mean, I grew up in Ottery for most of my life. Got married and then moved to Retreat for a little bit, and now I'm in Plumstead. Plumstead Deep River, right there. But yeah, I've always had a passion for tech, and I felt like I need to like talking as well. I like telling people things. So I'm like, podcast, like perfect outlet, and then that's kind of like who I am, It's kind of become my personality.
A personality trait.
Yeah.
So what was
podcast.
the growing up like? So you said you grew up a lot, mostly in Ottery,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So what were the schools that you went to and the interactions that you had? What was that like?
Yeah, so primary school was for sub A. I'm giving my age by saying sub A. But primary school was sub A. Primary school sub A was Sunnyside Primary.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Ottery because I used to live in Bridgetown as well.
Hey.
So from there I went to Ferndale Primary in Ottery, like opposite the hypermarket there. And then high school was Windsor High. Yeah. And my school experience was very much sheltered.
Okay.
Obviously, because you kind of stay in that little bubble of like the southern suburbs. Everybody at the school from the southern suburbs. So there wasn't much like exposure to other cultures, other races and that kind of thing. So when I went to university, it was a massive culture shock for me. So but I found like that I assimilated quite easily into varsity life, and just with the friends that I had at that time, I felt like it was a really cool experience for me. Yeah.
So which university did you end up going to?
I went to AFTA, it's a film school. Yeah, I graduated in 2009, many years ago. Yeah. So I basically spent a couple of years in the film industry, working on feature film sets, doing documentary shoots, music videos.
So Rizaan,
I'm adjusting.
so Rizaan didn't realize that
I'm
this is where the
adjusting.
conversation is going
Okay.
to. So
No, like if I had to put money on your age, I'd have gotten it wrong.
yeah.
Okay. So let's hear what you thought my age was.
So I thought 33.
Okay, close.
How
I
old
was
is it?
34.
Oh,
Very close.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was in the film industry for a couple of years, did like documentary shoots around the country, traveled up in Africa a little bit. And then I was like, listen, I need something a bit more stable. Because the film industry in South Africa, I mean, it's kind of grown a lot now to where it is. But when I was in it was very much dependent on like service work from like international commercials coming over. And then obviously there was the odd music video shoot and stuff. And then you have a friend that's maybe a SoundCloud rapper. You kind of helping them with a music video. But usually when it comes to winter, it kind of dies in Cape Town because the work stops. And then you kind of have to go to Joburg, or you have to have these connections. And the network is very, very important. So I was like, this like hustle life really isn't for me. I like need something a bit more stable.
Yeah.
And then I was like, so but what am I actually interested in? You know what I mean? So I was like, I've been online for most of my life. I mean, talking about the early days of like MSN chat rooms and stuff and AOL and all this kind of thing. So I was like, so I understand how online conversation works. And I'm like, cool. Let me get into social media. And this is about 2012. And this is before brands started taking it seriously. You know, like there was no brands doing anything on social media at that point. And I was like, this is a kind of a gap in the market. Let me offer my services like this. And at the time, I had a few friends that had businesses that needed some social media help. And they were like, can you maybe help us, set up pages and stuff like this? And that was very much in the days before Facebook and any sort of platform made you pay for any sort of reach.
Okay.
It's kind of like a pay-to-play model these days.
Yeah.
But in the days of organic, talk about it like it was way back when. But I mean, it was like 10 years ago. But like, you could kind of organically grow pages without needing to pay any money and be completely out there. People were very much sort of plugged into social media. In the early days and very interested in what brands are doing because it was quite new.
Yeah.
So that was the gap that I kind of saw and my career kind of expanded from there. And so now I work in advertising.
Oh.
So I'm on sort of the digital content and paid media side of things. So that's
why the lingo is so it comes easily to you.
Yeah. So I'm kind of self-trained in that sense. I've kind of built myself up. Yeah. I've worked at a few big agencies and now I'm at a small agency, but we do have some huge clients as well. Yeah.
Rizaan, why does it look like you would, ever since you started talking, it's just like this film across your face, as if to say like, I'm here, but I'm not here. And then like, please explain.
I'm still loading that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So like, for example, your age. I'm just hang up on this. Wait.
He's stuck on that.
You're from sub 8.
Yeah. So technically, are you Gen X?
I'm technically like a millennial. I'm like a mid-aged millennial. Yeah, like middle-aged millennial.
Yeah,
we've reached that point now. Where it's kind of like
because the thing is because your relationship to tech is different to our relationship to tech. It sounds like your relationship to tech is that you created the tech. You are in the generation that creates the tech, whereas we're in the generation that knows how to use it the best. You understand? That's basically what I'm gauging from that. Is that a fair character?
I mean, look, if you look at somebody that's like around my age, like maybe early 30s, we were kind of a part of the exponential growth of tech because we kind of lived through a lot of like the innovations. Like from the time we were like kids, tech really sort of exploded. I mean, I don't know if the audience is going to know this, but like I had a Betamax machine as a kid.
Immediately now.
So Betamax was the tech before VHS.
Cool.
Right? So VHS kind of won that war with like home entertainment. And then, from like the rotary dial telephone, I sound like I'm like an ancient here, but like the rotary dial telephone from like the first cell phones. And then like when cell phones started becoming like color screen and then people got cameras on their phones and video cameras, so that we kind of saw that explosion quite, we lived through it basically.
You see all of the stuff that you said looks like stuff that you just see in the garage, but you don't know what it was for.
Yeah.
You think like aliens came here and dropped this off.
No, it's wild to think that actually everything that people used 30 years ago as separate pieces of tech, like your Walkman or your video camera or your telephone, is all in your pocket right now. It's all like within this one small device. And also we kind of saw the explosion of the internet as well, like the start of, because like I think Google only really kind of became a thing in 96, and at that time I was like 7 years old. And I mean at that time,
how old were you do that?
2. Okay. And you? Same. Okay. So I mean we kind of saw the explosion of the internet at that time, and then also at that time I was very much involved in computers because an auntie of mine was actually in the graphic design space.
That's how Bill Gates got his start, but auntie.
Oh, auntie.
So my auntie was a DTP artist at the time. Very
Immediately
much.
Explain.
So DTP is like DTP basically walked so graphic design can run. So DTP is very much on the print side of things. So they were the people that would like print out the newspapers and like pamphlets and all those kind of things. So she kind of got me interested in computers because after school I'd go to where she worked because it's like 5 minutes from the school.
Okay.
And then I had the chance to like sit on a computer for the entire day.
Yeah.
I had a computer like to myself. So that's kind of where the passion for tech was birthed,
Yeah,
basically.
well,
Sitting in
that's
front of a
lucky,
computer.
right? Because we had to steal other people's computer time.
Facts? No.
You had a computer all to yourself.
Yeah.
Remember in primary school, it was like a period every second week.
Every second we had because the other class had to
And
get
you
it
weren't
done.
doing anything constructive. You were playing Cartoon Network games online. You were playing...
For the rocket game.
Yes. Or that thing with the balls that you like, the color, you match the color and the color explodes, the bubble game.
Yes, bubble.
Like, that's the most constructive. I mean, you could Microsoft Word, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Or
like,
paint.
yeah, but you say that's literally Bill Gates' story. Like you got to play with the computer.
Where's the money then? Where's the money? I don't have the Bill Gates' money.
But Sulaiman, so taking you back now.
Okay.
How does someone that grew up with tech, so like, so fascinated with tech, end up studying in the media space at after?
Yeah.
So
my grandfather, on my mother's side, he was one of the first photographers in Port Elizabeth. So back like at that time, there was like probably one other person in the area that was doing photography, and it was more of a hobby for him. He was actually a tailor by trade. But photography was a hobby for him, and basically what he did was he taught me what he knew, and I kind of got my eye, if I can put it like that, from him basically. And it kind of runs deep in my family. I've got a couple of cousins who are photographers who are actually like quite successful photographers. So I kind of played in the photography space, and I've always had a love for movies, you know, like I was the kid that basically memorized the movie schedule in the newspaper. So if you asked me, where is Lion King playing? I could tell you, cool, it's at Kenilworth Center.
Yeah.
These are the times, go and watch it there. And that kind of was like, kind of shaped my love for movies. I loved movies, and I've always loved like really good looking content and that kind of thing. That's how I kind of moved into the media space. Interesting enough though, when I applied to study it after, I'd at the same time applied to study chartered accounting. And I'd gotten accepted, but I was like, let me rather go my passion way, you know? But yeah, that's kind of how
I didn't have that option.
I was going to say, any regrets? Does your wife look at you like, and say, Vol?
Look, I followed the passion. I I mean, I didn't really want to have a desk job.
Almost movie mark.
Colored auntie possessed me.
Yeah.
Possessed by colored auntie. I heard a bit where you said like you loved looking at the movie schedules like newspaper. I'm like, yo, you use newspapers.
Yeah.
That sounds like stuff you use for Allo projects and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, or to wash the windows.
Like, that's wrapping glassware. That's what newspaper sounds like. That's so rude.
No,
That's so rude.
So I think Rizaan also like, because we like the in-between generation. So like some of the things that you relate to are like things that my brother would relate to, or things that your brother would relate to. And Rizaan's now trying to connect your positioning to some of the audience members that we also have. Like they might not even know the things that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that's where he's coming from. With that, like this is like almost like pre-internet things.
Yeah.
So like they wouldn't know anything about that. Moving along from that decision to leave chartered accountancy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no regrets, but
no regrets.
Pivoting there, when did you connect your love for tech to creating media through tech?
Yeah.
And because obviously there are a lot of like, there's a lot of people study ITs, a lot of people go do code and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What made you take the media angle of the?
Okay. So I very much, I kind of got into media and tech through YouTube. So there's a lot of like tech YouTubers that
Yeah.
I really followed from the beginning, and one is MKPhD, who's Marcus Brownlee. I mean, I'm wearing his merch. It's like matte black everything. That's how into that space that I am, you know. And that kind of inspired me to start talking about tech in the media space and trying to educate people in a casual manner.
Subtle plug.
Like in a casual manner to educate people about tech and things that I'm interested in, you know what I mean? And they always say, make something that you would watch or make something that you would be interested in. The tech space in South Africa is not huge. There aren't many content creators in the tech space. And I've made a few connections with a few content creators in the local space, but there's still a lot of room for growth. And I think I quite enjoy making really good content, and the sort of sleekness of tech leans itself to making tech that's very, very much good content. You can put it like that. Yeah.
So getting into the sort of Casual Dork podcast.
Yeah.
Right, or the Casual Dork show, if you will, because it feels like a show.
Okay.
Like I've listened to it, and you have sort of segments, you have these little music intros, very, very well produced, very, very well done.
Thanks. Appreciate it. High praise.
Please do listen to it. You can have a chance to plug it in. But just before you get into the Casual Dork podcast, you mentioned that the tech space in South Africa isn't as big. Is it because is it because we aren't the ones that's producing, or we aren't, or, you know what I mean? Could that be a cause? Like,
I think it's just solely based on the fact that we are a third world country. We are still developing, and I think tech companies are only now, in the last 5 years, starting to realize that like there are people interested in it here. I mean, big tech companies like Google and Meta and Twitter and TikTok have satellite offices now in South Africa.
oh, lovely.
So, I mean, it's not as big as it is in the States. But, you know, we are still a little bit behind the curve when it comes to tech. I mean, I think in smartphone tech, we are quite caught up. I mean, the phones we use here are the same phones people are using overseas. Like bar few like manufacturers doesn't have a presence here. If I think about like Google, for instance, the Google Pixel, it's not sold in South Africa like via a network provider. You kind of have to import it. But the space is moving forward. But I think also just because of, I'm gonna say it, like load shedding is a massive
energy crisis,
it's I mean, we basically got put into grey status, I think it was. Grey listed.
That's
a couple
economic side of the
yeah.
Present, sir.
So I mean, I think investors are very, very scared to see South Africa as an investment opportunity. But you know, companies are trying to make inroads, and I think creators are trying to open up the space a little bit more for anybody to get into it. You know, and
it's also giving that kind of, or what I've seen is it, because there's not really a present, it then means that the tech is expensive.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah.
And because it's expensive for you to even get a sample, how are you supposed to promote something or say this is good if you can't even get it in your hands initially? Whereas in America, it's easily accessible.
Yes, I mean,
to test it out.
And if you take it from like a content creator perspective, you know, the tech companies have relationships with these tech creators. You know what I mean? They send them the tech. That's slowly picking up here. But in the States, tech companies understand the power of content creators, you know, and they're willing to put their tech products in their hands to get people opinions because people care about what they say. You know what I mean? So that's slowly picking up here, you know, with people being labeled as like influencers. I mean, that's not like a term a lot of people like. People like to be called content creators. Right? Because it's got a bit more legs to it.
That's a good essay question for you lot. What is the difference?
for 10 marks.
Between a content creator and an influencer. And what is the dichotomy of that?
No. So look, the like I said before, the space is sort of opening up a bit more, and local tech companies and international tech companies that have presence in South Africa are starting to understand the influence of like a content creator and the audience, and like opening up their products to like the wider general audience because these people have so like the smaller creators have a more engaged audience as opposed to like a massive creator. Yeah.
So what I wanted to say, it might be like a bit of a pivot, but this sort of like hole in the market or the hole that needs filling by the tech space is unfortunately now being filled by the fake products, Bombay, Majat. Like you go to Chinatown, Belleville, all these places, the IP, they don't give a about IP. You can think of a thing they have it, but it's not the right quality. It's not so it's being filled by that, and obviously we don't want that. But unfortunately, that's all we get access to.
I mean, also just to the point of like having to import stuff, right? I mean, even if you were to buy an iPhone through the iStore and you look at the prices in America, like the top of the line, like say 14 Pro Max, for instance, is about $1,200. If you do the direct conversion, it's about 25,000 rand. But if you buy it via the iStore, it's like 45,000 rand. And a lot of people don't understand why the prices are so high, because obviously the markup needs to be put on it because the iStore is not directly, the iStore here isn't directly linked to the Apple Store in the States, right? So we've got a distributor locally called the Core Group, who's got the sole mandate to distribute Apple products to other resellers. So they set the pricing for South Africa, obviously. And so we kind of get the short end of the stick in South Africa, basically.
Rizaan hates capitalism discussions. Like it's going around in all different directions. So flipping it again to colored people in tech. It almost, when the whole tech explosion happened, or a lot of people got more interested and a lot of people wanted to end up in the space. But then it's like, you know, when people watch Suits, then they think that's what it's like to be a lawyer.
Yes.
But actually, like, you were reading
you
books.
win every case. No matter what.
And I felt like the IT industry specifically also had that sort of, we're going to, code like the best type of thing.
Yes.
But colored people in tech is not as pronounced or not shown enough for me. So that we have more people like encouraged and pushed into this direction. What do you think is lacking with the messaging around tech and colored people in tech?
Yes, I think historically it just comes down to access. You know what I mean? So if I look at my own family, right? So I only have one uncle who, besides myself, has a degree in my entire family, right? And he studied at UCT and he got a degree in computer science.
Oh, nice.
And he basically did IT for companies like Shell and Santam and that kind of thing. So he was kind of lucky, right? So, but the problem is that there isn't a lot of push for people of color to get into tech, or there wasn't a big push when I was a kid to get into tech. You know, I mean, we kind of said the success lies in becoming a lawyer or a teacher or a doctor or whatever. You know what I mean? And, you know, I think those jobs wouldn't really exist without tech. You know what I mean? Like the industries wouldn't be where they are at if it wasn't for tech. I mean, I'm going to segue a little bit here, but like if you look at the banking industry in South Africa, right? We have one of the best banking industries in the world, right? If you go to America, they don't have anything like EFTs. You can't EFT someone in America. That's why our banking system locally is one of the best in the world.
Big
right?
dub, sorry, it's just big dub, South Africa. Look at you.
But it was capitalism. The reason, because I've experienced working in the US market, and the reason why things are so complicated is because everybody gets a piece of the pie. So our banking system is so sophisticated that you can, like you said, send an EFT. But in America, it's not. They don't speak to each other. So what do? They create like a PayPal, or they create a
like
cash app.
Basically.
They create middlemen between the banks so that they also get a piece of the pie. And they still use checks, which I don't
it's
understand.
weird.
Continue. Sorry. Capitalism.
Yeah. So basically, when I started was that the access wasn't there for colored people of color, right? And there wasn't a big push for people that look like us, you know, to go into those industries, you know, and it kind of seemed like unattainable because, you know, the people that are the captains of those industries don't look like us. So I think we had to kind of make spaces for ourselves And the whole content creator space is opening up the doors because we are showing people that, we do belong, right?
Yeah.
We've got the knowledge, we can do some of these things that people thought we couldn't do before, so there is a big push now, at least for more creators that are people of color in tech, I think.
So I really wanna. This is a nice conversation.
Okay.
So, so I'm thinking. Okay. So if you look at universities, right, the IT is almost like a separate institution. Like it's not like part of the conventional university. The conventional university has computer science, right? So all the different flavors in IT, whether it's business informatics, programming, web development, graphics, whatever the case may be, that's like a separate institution. Whereas if you look at engineering, for example, we have chem eng, mechanical eng, whatever, mechatronics, all in the same university space. So is there like, is it a problem of like, how can I say, is it a business problem or is it a skills problem? Is it a combination of both?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both, because I don't think that the skills are lacking. The skills are definitely there, but also there's the disconnect between that IT people, and I don't know how true this is in every sphere, but I think IT people are seen as like this like dark circle of people that like that. No, I could like say that. So
invite us in.
So like the narrative very much early on was that IT people were weird and that they were kind of like geeky and dorky and that kind of thing.
Casual Dork, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, now those careers are now like sought after. People are pushing people to be data engineers, software engineers, cybersecurity architects, those kind of thing, because everything is moving online. You need to fill that gap. You need to have people that are skilled in those things. And I think the university model doesn't change that often, or doesn't evolve enough to keep up with what's needed in those spaces.
Yeah.
So that's why you have IT professionals going to smaller institutions to learn, because they have the opportunity to pivot a lot more and they can be a bit more agile, for instance. So that's why I think that you would have your IT professionals don't really fit into a university space, because it's with IT, you kind of have to learn on the job. It's a lot more practical, whereas university is a lot more theoretical, right? So it's So it's just like you need to be able to move with the times, I think, and I think universities don't move fast enough.
Spicy. Yeah, I love it. No, like that's a challenge to universities. If like there's one person watching a director, No, because we've spoken about that a little bit, about how like the university degree doesn't necessarily give you the job, it gives you access. Whereas these small institutions, they give you the profession. They make you a young professional, where you just become like a certificate haver. Now let's get into the Casual Dork Podcast.
Okay.
Let's so it's obvious that you love tech, but I guess let's ask the obvious question: what made you start it?
So, like in my life, I've kind of been told that you'd be a great teacher.
Okay.
But like, I don't think I've got the patience for that to be a teacher. But I like talking to people about stuff that I'm really passionate about.
Yeah.
So the seed is planted there. Like, I love telling people about things that I'm passionate about, and I thought like podcasting was a really cool avenue to do that. Like, it's as much as most of the time it's a one-sided conversation. I'm just talking to people, no one's talking back to me while I'm recording. It's more for me to sort of disseminate the information. And I've always just wanted to I've tried over the years to find different avenues to put out the information. Like, I've tried blogging, I've tried starting just a social media page and posting tech updates, but there wasn't really much success there. And I thought to myself, what's a medium that would and I'm able to get my voice out there? So I was like, cool, let me try podcasting. And I know social media, so I thought to myself, let me start building a little bit of social proof with social media. I started the social media account at the beginning of 2021. Just started posting like interesting tech stories that I saw, or like small tech tips that could kind of help people and that kind of thing. And then I was like, cool. But in that time, I was building up the courage to start recording.
Okay.
It took me a full year
Okay.
to build up the courage to record my first episode.
Yeah.
So in that time, I started connecting with people that could maybe help me.
Okay.
Build up a little bit of confidence to get onto the mic. I mean, when I started like 2 years ago, I didn't think I'd ever be here. You know what I mean? Like on a video podcast, talking to other people. You know what I mean? So the journey.
You don't want to look at some of my earlier achievements. Some of that is you look back at it now. And
some of them
like,
stay in the archives. It doesn't come out. You lock it away. Yeah. So I built up the courage to start recording, and I basically said, okay, cool. Let me do it.
Yeah.
Just jump in, because if I'm going to like hold myself up back, I'm never gonna start.
Yeah.
So let me just jump into it and see how it goes. And at that point, I decided, let me take my content creation effort a bit more seriously.
Okay.
So I was like, let me set a goal for myself. Let me at least put out 4 pieces of content a week on social media, just so that I stay relevant and just so that I stay top of mind.
Yeah.
And I kind of cultivate a little bit of an audience.
Okay.
That word. I saw you looking.
Cultivate.
Cultivate.
It's like,
So it's been a bit of a journey, but I think there's definitely room for me to grow it a little bit more.
No.
I love how Sulaiman's always looking at you to see like, yeah.
Why am I taking this?
Yeah.
Ignore my face, bro. Ignore my face, bro. I'm not the one. I'm not the one.
So you even when you started getting onto the mic, it also had various iterations. I mean, your earlier work was certain lengths, and now it's a lot shorter.
Yes.
So I mean, how did you navigate that in terms of what you found the best for you?
Yes. So I think in order for me to stay consistent, I thought because at the beginning of all my episodes, I do like a tech news segment, just to kind of recap cool tech stories that are kind of relevant in that time frame. But I thought to myself, in order to stay more consistent with uploading podcast episodes, let me do my tech news separately and upload it once a week. And there's a lot less effort in producing a full episode. So if you look back on my podcast page, like I haven't done a full episode since the end of 2022. So I'm kind of filling the gap with the tech news to stay kind of on platform and all those kind of things. And I think I got the advice from Simi, who was actually on the show not too long ago. So I'm actually part of his podcast network, POC Podcasts. And he's giving me a lot of advice, and he's really starting to like mentor me and tell me what I should be doing. A lot of the creative control, actually all of the creative control is still with me.
Yeah.
He'll just give me a bit of advice, maybe try this, maybe try that.
Because the two things that Simi apparently knows is podcasting and Okapas.
Yes.
So, but you also don't. You also said that that's also.
Yes. Nah.
You have beef there. It's not true.
Clear the air. Just want to set the record straight.
Yeah. So when Sami was on,
Yes.
he was like, "I am the originator. I walked so you guys could have in the Oka space." You know what I mean? And I think it starts. Yeah.
Yeah. But you are basically telling him that no, he might be Martin Luther King, but you are Malcolm X.
You know, I was alongside him. You know what I mean? I mean, struggle, you know. So I mean, Sami and I only like a year. I think he's a year older than I am. So the timelines do match up. I mean, there's proof that the timelines do match up there. I mean, maybe he was doing his thing in Johannesburg, you know, pushing it there. I was the Cape Town guy. You know what I mean? I mean, like all through
Location.
So we had our branches. You know. So all through high school.
Okay.
This is like I'm talking about like at 8th grade 9 now. I got introduced to hookah pipes by like older cousins of mine, but it was very much still like an underground thing. Like those kind of things that were done in very small circles. It wasn't as like big as it is now.
The
Right?
science wasn't backed yet.
It wasn't backed yet. You know what I mean? But so through high
Science
school.
is telling you to run away, boy.
No, but it's healthier than cigarettes.
I know.
I'm joking.
Let's don't go that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
So basically, around the same time, throughout high school, I got introduced to hookah pipes and stuff. And then when I went to varsity, I was basically the pipe guy. Right, I took public transport to varsity every single day, and I was the guy that had my pipe in a separate bag to my backpack. It got to the point where I didn't have to buy coals and flavor anymore because I just provided the pipe. I provided the pipe making service. I knew how to poke holes, the proper patterns, how to break the coal, for heat management, all those kind of things, putting ice water at the bottom for a more a cooler exhale.
So that's great. So in science now, you would be like, when someone publishes a similar story, that both their names get on. So in chemistry, acids and bases, Lowry and Bronsted.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you guys could coexist.
Release a white paper.
Like you might be doing it a certain way with this, and he's coming, but that's wild.
Yeah. So
hype guy.
So I mean, even like going to house parties and stuff like that, it was always in my boot.
Okay.
If I walked in without my pipe, they're like, "Bro, where's the pipe?"
You have one job,
bro. Where's the pipe? Make a pipe.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, a few friends of mine actually called me the hub connoisseur.
Sure.
That's the name that was bestowed upon me.
Get it?
So I don't know if somebody's got a name like that. I don't know.
We won't know.
Yeah.
In the episode beef. Can I?
No, because I was gonna bring it back to the network.
Same.
Okay. Oh, Rizaan, so sweet. Welcome to the Gen Z podcast. So he's just helped you with more of a mentoring relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
And helped you kind of navigate the podcasting space.
Yes.
What he's
He knows podcast.
He knows podcast.
Yes.
Me, I know podcast. Picturing you saying that.
Yeah, I'm picturing you saying it. What is the kind of, when you now doing it, like you said, found a means for you to do more consistent?
Yes.
What are the other kind of hurdles you've experienced so that if someone else starts something of a similar nature, just to be aware of these things?
Yeah. So I mean, I've got a family as well. So they was also navigating how to create content around it, like being a dad as well, and also needing to have a social life as well, and sometimes having to work after hours, just because of the industry that I'm in, So it's all about, working out a schedule for yourself. So you become cognizant of like, okay, I've got a tech episode coming out on Friday, right? So let me pay attention to the tech news for the week, right? I've got my apps and stuff that kind of feed me news and that kind of thing. And then, okay, cool. On a Thursday, I know I need to record a tech episode because it'll be fresh. I'll have the latest up until the Thursday night, the news that I need to record on my podcast. The longer episodes, for instance, it takes a bit more time because you have to go a bit more in depth on a certain topic. And you try and find topics that are interesting but also aren't time sensitive. Because, sometimes it can take, my first episode took me 2 weeks to record. Whereas my second episode took me 30 minutes to record. And there's those big deltas, between getting things out, you know what I mean? So it all also depends on your mood and, levels of tiredness and that kind of thing. So those are the kind of things you need to be kind of cognizant of if you are going to go into like a content creator space or like a podcast space.
People that use delta in a sentence though. Marvelous. Just big
Are you just
deltas.
picturing the triangle?
Nah, that was just big deltas.
Just big Let's just be deltas.
Like for example, the way he speaks and the way I speak is a big delta between that. So with your podcast, you speak about you give people like actual like informative information, like what are NFTs, like you tell them go listen to this episode at minute 14.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you speak, you also have
You've done your research.
I'm trying.
You've done your research, okay.
I must earn my Koesisters. So you have
the backward payment again.
off the books
Off the
payment.
books payment.
Oh wait. So you obviously have segments, right? So you have your tech news, you have your subreddit, whatever the case
Yes.
may be, and then you also have your music segment.
Yes.
So, be honest, obviously because your content is niche.
Yes.
Right? That's the right word? Niche.
Yes,
Okay,
niche.
cool. So
Or
there's
as Americans say, niche.
niche, right?
Niche,
No,
yeah.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Is it Americans or is it UK?
No, I think it's American,
Oh, okay.
like niche.
Okay, but that's true. That is the thing. So
niche sounds like a person.
What?
Friedrich Nietzsche.
Nietzsche.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, I was like, I think isn't that? No, that's the daddy of nihilism. Back to the
Back
topic.
to the question.
So you sort of allowed yourself to be so like in that niche. You allow yourself to be diverse because
Yes.
you've had people actually comment on like your music, whatever the case may be. That was very fun, by the way. What does that bra say? That was weird.
That's actually a good friend of mine.
Is
that
it?
I used to work
Okay.
with.
okay.
Good guy, JP. His name was JP.
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
Because
Is he your therapist?
oh yeah.
Apparently.
Oh, okay, yes.
Because
no, 'cause-
apparently,
Yeah, so for like my question, I'm taking a long route because I get distracted here. My question is basically, say for like a casual learner,
Yes.
so a casual listener, sorry,
yeah.
what segment would they sort of like gravitate the most to, and in what segment should they like stay for? Because that's the T.
Yeah. So I think just from a general standpoint, I think people would gravitate to the music segment.
Okay.
I put it in there because I also love music.
Okay.
And I think people should stay for the last segment because that's the segment that I kind of deep dive into.
Okay.
So the way I kind of break up the show is that I used to start with the tech news.
Yes.
Then I'd go into like a sort of like a random tech topic. Then it's like the music segment, which I've kind of branded as like a journey into sound.
Lovely.
And then it's the Reddit segment.
Yeah.
Or it's something that maybe is in the news, but it's not time sensitive.
Okay.
So one topic that I didn't actually record, and I subsequently found out that wasn't true, was the story about how they were going to introduce like a 500 Rand note.
Oh.
And a 10 Rand, I think a 10 Rand, no, a 20 Rand, no, a 10 Rand coin. Yes, 10 Rand coin. It turned out it wasn't true,
Okay.
but I had recorded that segment already.
Okay.
Because I thought it was interesting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's locally relatable.
Yeah.
And then the last segment on the show is the deep dive sort of tech segment. And the last one that I did was about around how AI is changing how we do things. Because like there's a big push right now for consumer facing AI products, like your Mid Journeys, which is like image generation, or like your ChatGPTs, which is like write me a script of like this sort of genre or whatever. But now we've got other players in the market as well, where it's like there's this company called 11 Labs that can basically take anybody's voice, your voice, my voice, celebrity's voice, and make it say anything, and it sounds flawless, right? So we're moving into like voice deepfakes and video deepfakes. So it's going to become a lot harder to differentiate between what's actually real and what's not.
Yeah.
Because the tech is moving so fast at the moment.
But is that like, I mean, that's also some people have fears of this the tech moving this fast.
Yes.
Because it's like we don't have time to comprehend what the effect is. And
What is your fears?
No, the deep fakes are nuts.
yeah.
They're nuts because like they can catch me saying anything reckless now.
Yeah.
And chances are I said that.
Yeah. It's hard to differentiate. But I think that's also, I mean, a lot of the fears around AI specifically is the fact that it's moving so quickly and can do so much.
Yes.
What's your feeling around GPT level 4s now?
Yeah. I
is
mean,
now
GPT-4 is now released, and it can basically code an entire.
Sounds like Jordan's. Keep going.
Yeah.
He's got on the GPT-4s, you know. So GPT-4.
Not the Belville stuff.
Yo. So GPT-4 can basically recognize text on an image and code a full website based off of text on a picture you take on your phone. So it's insane to think that this wasn't even a thing like not even 2-3 years ago. But people were talking about AI and the possibilities of AI sort of like in the early adopter space, maybe like 10, 15 years ago already. You know, we don't even realize how much AI has actually moved our lives forward and how it's made things easier. Just from like a process
But the
standpoint.
technology needed to catch up.
Exactly. So now there's this push towards AI tools that everyday people can use. Right. And there's this worry that it's going to take people's jobs away. Right. But it's the same conversation that was had maybe 50 years ago or like 100 years ago about like tractors. It's taking jobs away from farmers because now you're automating the process. Right. And now the same thing is like, we're going to make copywriters redundant. We're going to make data capturers redundant. But in the same breath, what you need to think about is that AI, as much as taking away some jobs, it's creating new jobs. So I think it's up to us to stay up to date with what is actually moving, what's actually happening in the world.
I think it's, sorry.
No, go.
No, I think it's the fear comes with the ability for the replaced jobs. It's usually when like you said, it creates new jobs. But and in the past, we've always been lost to the new jobs. And I think that's kind of one of the concerns, and I'm sure my co-host has another one loading. But that's always been one of the concerns, that even though the job is becoming easier, we're not the ones that first use it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say that I hear you, but welcome to the segment called "How is this racist?" Because yes, tractors was but they took black people, people of color's jobs, and then replaced those jobs. They gave other people jobs, and that's basically like. Because obviously when people think AI, they think, world domination, Terminator,
Skynet, iRobot.
You said Skynet. Skynet. That's Terminator.
Yes, of course. Of course. Wavelength.
Delta. But from a more sort of practical standpoint, the livelihoods of people, the dreams of people is shifting now. Because like you obviously, so for example, your dream phase is from primary to secondary school. When you get to university, the market is changed. The fuck? You know what I mean? And now you are telling you, like, we can acknowledge that the time now for the shift in the market to change in the market is no longer say 5 to 10. It's
a couple of months.
It
can become a couple of months.
So that is extremely scary. And I think just like everyone now needs to understand. Everyone, doesn't matter what industry you're in. It's important that you stay informed now and put like unnecessary aside. You know what I mean? Like the energy that we have towards like, politics and all this stuff, but like while these jobs and stuff change, by the time you fix the politics, people don't have food on the table. Like we need to be thinking about these type of things. That's basically
I mean, everyone's also just trying to avoid getting slapped by an iRobot.
So like you have segments in your show, we also have segments in our show.
Yes.
So today's game is a variation on our original game, which we call Houvas. Naai Klas. Mybru Las. So we're gonna make it casual talk inspired. So using the split in your name, we're gonna go Noob. Casual.
Here we go.
Or AI.
Advanced levels.
So is casual like a las?
No, Houvas. Casual is Houvas. And then AI is Naai Klas. And Noob is Mybru Las.
Last if you a noob.
Okay, cool.
Must I start?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So, is there 3 stuff here or is there one thing?
It's categories.
So this is type of cell phones.
Right,
so I'm guessing it's cell phone brands. Or what?
Whatever you want it to be, sir.
Because if you're going cell phone brands, we shouldn't do that.
Cell phone sizes. Because cell phone sizes are getting bigger, right?
Yes.
So what and you have a flip and you have what is that?
What's happening?
What is the best cell phone size? Okay. Please, Sulaiman.
Okay.
What? Because it's getting bigger.
Yes.
So now, how do we know? Because I mean, you can't be
with a brick.
Because it went from being the biggest
being the
to
brick.
getting small, and now we're getting
big
large
again. Yeah.
So what is the
I'm really sorry. You just actually choose a different one. No, choose a different one.
What do you mean? Why?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Okay, big noob, small AI. What the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking? What are we talking about? What like how are we playing this game with that category? Like what are you talking? Like choose another one. Cell phone sizes.
But what would you be your ideal one?
Okay, so I like a device that is, I'd say, in between like very big and small, because I can't handle the very long devices because there's a reachability.
Pause.
I said choose another one.
Please go to this.
Yeah, so there's the reachability issue, and also something that's too small, it's difficult to operate, right? Because people with larger fingers,
Yes.
and smaller keypad.
Not the
and
3310.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So playing in like the mid-size category is kind of good for me. But I know there is a lot of push towards sort of foldable phones.
Yeah.
I mean, even now at the last Mobile World Congress, Motorola released a rollable phone, or like a consumer-ready rollable phone, where the phone can actually just expand and
Oh, wow.
get smaller like that. So depending on how you use it, it will basically choose its size, basically. But yeah, I mean, I think the old school tech person in me, I still love the flip. You know, the flip is like a really cool like movement. You know, you've seen kind of V360 or V3 or, and even, I mean, there haven't been any slides recently. You know, the E250s,
D500s,
the student card phone. I mean, there hasn't been many.
So that's
iterations of
valid.
that.
That's valid. Slide versus flip versus touchscreen. That's valid.
Okay.
That's
okay.
valid. Let's do that.
Okay. So I think noob, I'd say would be slide.
The slide.
The slide. Casual would be flip,
Okay.
and then usual like candy bar touch phone is like AI, because it's the most well-known shape.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna take some time for there to be a bit of like proliferation in the market of like foldables and flips and stuff like that. I think we're still at least 5 to 10 years out of it becoming like the new shape that people will use.
Lekker.
Yeah.
Lekker. Salvaged it. Okay, guys. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Sulaiman. Thank you, Sulaiman. Breakfast foods.
Ooh, this is a contentious topic. This
Okay.
breakfast foods.
Breakfast foods.
I think bowl of cereal.
Okay.
Noob.
Oof.
Are you saying that? Are you saying that bowl of cereal is noob?
Sulaiman is
Can I
like,
just-
you
wait,
eat
wait.
a bowl of cereal? Noob.
Like, I didn't feel like he was talking about the bowl of cereal.
He
He was
wasn't-
talking about
you-
me. Because then I
He
was
was
gonna
like-
say like eggs vibes. I don't know, like what you call it, English breakfast style.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you know what would be a third, like a slice of toast on bread.
Met doodles of biscuit. Where would you put bagels or something like that?
Ooh, sandwiches. Okay, breakfast sandwiches. Okay, so breakfast sandwiches, English style breakfast, and then bowl.
Bowl of
So
cereal. Yeah.
muesli will also fall under the
The
bowl.
bowl thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's valid. It's valid now. It's good now.
Oh, it's
okay.
good now. It's good now. Okay, good.
Okay, now. Go
Now.
okay.
So we established that bowl of cereal's noob.
Well, we haven't. I thought you were saying that.
No.
I thought you were saying.
Oh,
bowl
but
of
for
cereal
me
is
it's a noob.
Oh, so for you a noob.
For me
Okay.
it's a noob. I'll put in the list. I'll put the eggs at the top,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then bagel second because of the I don't really have it that often. So it's not as elite
Casual,
for me.
casual,
Very
casual.
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 And then
is bowl.
noob is the
bowl
bowl
of
cereal
cereal.
because
And
my
you,
fiber is
Mr.
okay.
Contentious topic.
Yo.
Do you not do breakfast?
No, I love breakfast. I love breakfast. So breakfast for me is normally oats. Oats,
Oh.
right? So I think I'd put breakfast sandwiches as like
Okay.
Noob,
Valid.
right? Because I don't have that often.
Right.
I think casual would be bowl of cereal,
Okay.
right? And then the third one, AI was
The English style.
English style breakfast, yes, because it's very filling. You get different food groups. You know what I mean?
I've shown.
I agree with your
Yeah.
characterization. I will say this: the concept of breakfast is capitalism.
Okay, explain.
So like first of all, the whole breakfast is the most important meal of the day is a slogan used to sell breakfast products.
Yes.
And then also that also low key led to the insulin problems that we have today. But that's the different episode.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you said jungle, I was like, yo, it's gonna be like Ramadan, so that like jungle in the morning.
Yeah. No, actually, Ramadan cereal is pro-neutral.
Valid.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah.
Because it must stay there.
Yeah.
But what's your consistency? Do you like it at like very runny or like a lot more like stiff? What's your consistency?
So do you want to build a house?
No, so I don't like it super runny, but
Okay.
like literally in between.
Yeah.
Like as in between as possible.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose between runny or stuff, runny.
Okay.
If I had to choose between those two.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to chew my breakfast.
Yeah, I'm a Creedstone guy. I like it.
You like you
I
want to
like
chew
it
that?
stuff. Yeah, I like it stuff.
Daddy, chill.
Pause.
Pause.
Oh, one more. One more.
I waited until the end.
Wait, am I doing it?
I actually have one for you after the last one.
No, let's do your one now because I
Okay,
think.
Okay. So my one as like also being a fellow casual dork.
Okay.
I want to
Family.
know like how you would rank your. I'll give you 3 tech YouTubers that I grab,
Okay.
and then I want you to
Rank them.
But they're all good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is why it's super difficult.
Yeah.
So I'll say MKBHD,
Mhm.
Unbox Therapy,
Mhm.
and then Linus.
You. That's a hard one.
Yo, the fact that you're calling either one of those a noob is going to be
Yeah.
really a
You.
vibe.
So
That's a violation one time.
That's a vibe.
You. So
There's a guns to your head now.
gun to my head. I have to pick.
Guns to my head.
Guns to my
I
head.
think I'm going down.
I think just from like a controversial standpoint and sort of what's been coming out about him recently, I put Unbox Therapy as like a noob
Okay.
because there's like rumors that he view bots and stuff and that kind of thing. And also just the bunch of like controversies they had years ago with like fake competitions and all that nonsense. I'd put Linus as casual
Okay.
just because I think he is really good with the fact that he's got like a whole media group, right? He's changed the game when it's come to how you look at YouTube and tech and media as like a job or like a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people always ask him like, why do you have 80 writers in your team? Why do you have 50 editors? Why do you have a warehouse? Why do you have all of these things? But I think the way that he kind of explains it is that he started out very, very early on in the like YouTube space, and he was able to build up his company to where it is. And what it is that he's able to then output like 50 videos a week because such a big team across so many channels, right? So yeah, I put him as like casual. And for AI, I'm obviously gonna pick Marcus Brownlee at MKPHD. He was like the reason that I got into like the whole tech YouTuber thing.
Yeah.
And just the fact that like he shoots his videos on red cameras, right? Like those are cinema grade cameras, like 8K
Quality
cinema.
Yeah, they spoke about that in there.
Yeah. So it's like, and people always ask him, but like, why? Why do you do that? And so he was like, if you look at like the law of diminishing returns, right? If you double your quality and you spend that amount of money, you get a 50% increase. If you double your quality and your money again, you're only seeing about a 10% increase. And it just diminishes over and over again. So he basically just wanted to set himself apart in that sense. And I think it's made him successful because he did set himself apart in that way. And also he's a person of color in a very much white dominated space, and he's kind of like the guy. Like people know him as the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's crossed spaces. He's been in GQ.
Yeah.
He's been on the red carpet at the Met Gala. You know what I mean? So he's made inroads into other industries as well.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah.
Valid. Okay. So our last segment, this is our sort of infamous game at this point in time,
Okay.
because JP likes the word infamous. No, he likes the word name notorious.
No.
Notorious, sorry.
Notorious.
Notorious,
sorry,
okay.
Sorry. This is our infamous game then.
Mm.
So this game is called Say Ma Now.
Yeah.
A series of hypotheticals. And so each of us, I think it's one.
Are you
This
sure?
one says for me, so
It's you wasn't specifically.
Specifically for
Wow.
he gets. Okay.
Why is our names not on?
Yeah.
Yes,
No, because if I read this, I spelled it wrong here, man. Allow me.
You put your own name on it.
Yeah, just
Okay,
so that
so you know
nobody
it's for
sees
you.
this.
Previous episodes where Rizaan puts his handwriting on blast. Now he's putting. And every week, I think we're going to save him.
Okay.
But he keeps putting himself back in. Can I start? Okay. Do you want Sulaiman to start? Okay. Say Ma Now, you are turned into a supernatural being.
Ooh,
Okay.
What would you be and why?
okay. Lovely.
Rizaan? A
That's
centaur. So you can practice all four legs.
And that is very funny, but like, it would have been nice if I could say. That's basically. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. A centaur. The fuck? So okay, no, but on a serious thing, so any type of, so this is like those werewolf and type of stuff now. But if I could like become like a like those things that can turn into animals, like can turn into like any animals, I'd want to become like a Pegasus, yeah, a flying horse, yes.
A
A
Pegasus, okay.
a flying horse, yeah.
So you basically want to be like a ditto. Because you want to turn into any animal.
Pokemon.
Oh, you.
No, I'll
Glad you
I'll
picked that
just
up.
become one.
Oh, you just want to be a
one.
Pegasus.
Like a Pegasus.
Just
Okay.
become one.
Okay.
yeah.
That is fair though.
I'll become a Pegasus, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Upgrade from a horse to a flying horse.
Okay. Me, okay. I think I'd become like a griffin.
A griffin.
So like it's a lion also with like wings.
Yes.
A griffin.
Okay.
You went straight to Gryffindor, right?
I immediately thought
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Gryffindor.
It was like
Gryffindor.
it was like dog.
Yeah.
Oh, is this a
Don't fucking do that. What is this? Like men fences, JP.
okay?
Don't do
Sorry.
that.
Yes, sorry. I mean,
So what mythical whatever creature would you like to be, JP? What is the question? Read the question again.
yes. So you are turned into a supernatural
Supernatural. There we go.
being.
Someone let's answer the question there. Go for it. Yes, brah.
A supernatural being.
Yeah.
Can it be Hercules?
It's not really supernatural.
It's not supernatural.
Shazam.
It's like a
Shazam.
demigod. Oh,
Shazam.
okay. Can
That's
we?
valid.
Okay.
That's valid. You want to change your answer now?
No, because I know it brings superheroes into the thing as well. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, you make it what you want it to be, Sulaiman.
I mean, I think if I really wanted to pick something, I'd be Doctor Strange.
Oh.
Like favorite Marvel character.
A magician, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Sorcerer Supreme.
The thing
Get
is,
it
I
right,
was so
please.
committed to the centaur act, I might as well
Yeah.
just be one also. We can be two.
Okay, I'll go. Okay.
Or the one that says Rizaan.
For Rizaan.
For Rizaan.
So the question is just say me now.
And only Rizaan.
Say me now. It was the apocalypse that I spelled wrong. What would the weirdest reason be for an apocalypse?
The weirdest reason.
Yeah.
for an
Load
apocalypse.
shedding.
You
Yeah,
like
literally.
basically like certain Or like just like no power.
Yeah.
Stone Age vibes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because we've become super dependent on electronical items, whatever the case. All people with like pacemakers and stuff and like all the stuff they're like
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Gone. You're hectic.
No cheating.
Hectic.
I came back with decent answer.
That's possible.
That's a reality.
Yeah.
That's awkward. That's
Yeah.
awkward. Yikes.
What do you think?
Me, okay. I think like all the bees in the world disappearing. Because people underestimate how powerful bees are, like in with regards to our ecosystem and how much they actually play a part in it. My wife
We're
and I
not talking
actually
about Beyonce yet, though.
No,
Just
not the
the
beehive.
bees. Okay,
Not the
yeah.
beehive. Actual bees.
The actual bees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my wife and I were talking about it the other day, and we were saying like, bees actually do play a big part in the our ecosystem and actually moving things forward and that kind of thing.
Okay. So, So,
It's like, he's approaching.
I have it. We all take a certain shampoo that results in mind control. Hear me out. Just first of all. That's weird, but like, hear me out. So,
No, why
okay,
are you
so.
saying this on the AI episode?
Yeah, just hear me out. So there's evidence to prove that a certain beverage provider used to have drugs in it.
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we all know that.
We all know that. So
Yes.
it happens. We think that a chemical is beneficial, but once it activates with like your hair, you're still busy getting that GHD going. It's not. You will next day you wake up, Australia. I don't make the rules.
That makes the rules.
I don't make the
Yeah.
rules.
You guys have a full hat for me.
It's the same one.
As far as it there is coming out.
And it's the rise of the Baldies. Obviously, let's go, boy. It's not Vin Diesel's gonna save the world, Mybru.
Family.
For family.
For family.
Listen, according to Vin Diesel, family is the most powerful entity and energy source in the world.
Yes.
He literally held a building together with
With
the power of
family.
family. Just putting it out there.
So yeah, the weirdest reason for an apocalypse is one of these products
Okay.
that we all use, and
Yeah.
it results in us just going back.
Okay.
Okay.
That is fair.
Okay, so that's my one now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
So it's not the. Please go, Sulaiman.
Okay.
Please go.
Say my now.
I had to
Say
stop
my
myself there.
Say my now. You had an evil twin. What would their name be? And what would make them evil?
Oh,
Okay.
PJ. PJ. What PJ?
Plus, young.
PJ Noskash.
Oh, you did. Okay. Wow.
PJ.
PJ.
And what was the second half of that? Sorry?
What
Second
would make
one-
them evil?
What about
What-
make them
what-
evil?
yeah,
What
Yeah.
would make them evil?
Like what? Like how are they evil? Like because they're evil twin.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Am I not my own evil twin? But
Oh, there you go.
what would make them evil? Wouldn't it just be like a bully? Like
I mean, that's already you. So.
Yo.
Oh, maybe they are a master thief because you understand money and they understand money
that
even
is
better.
true. That's even better.
So
Thank you, Rizaan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You get to choose a name for my evil twin.
No, it's fine.
You guys say it. And you,
I'm
serious
stuck on.
geek.
I'm serious geek. That's actually a good one. Serious geek. I'll go with that. And I think the reason they'd be evil or how they'd be evil would be spreading fake news. Spreading fake news.
That's so good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, decent. Because they'll be credible.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's like
It's fake.
It's
Yeah.
like
Fully
like,
fake.
Like 80% true and then that 20%. Like 20%.
Yeah.
I've got a name for your evil twin.
Let's go.
Because you was like a rose, then your evil twin will be Daisy or something.
Or Protea.
Protea.
Lily.
Fynbos.
Lily. Fynbos.
Like the obvious one is Thorn. That's my name. Thorn
Naai
Fynbos.
He'll
And
attack
what
you.
makes me evil?
Yeah.
It
Next
takes you with
year.
the power of allergies.
This mother. The power of allergies. Allergies is a key word. Allergies is a
Pollinate.
Oh, I'm just out here pollinating in the spring season. No
Spring
one's nose
season.
is safe.
No, year round. Year round.
Year round.
Year
Just
round.
sniffles.
Just sniffles.
Just sniffles.
Yeah.
Unruly.
Mm.
Thank you so much for playing. So a final segment of the game. I'd like to give the guests an opportunity to sort of plug any projects, any channels, any ways we can find
Yeah.
you. Just like a repeated and base repeating.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is a message to your younger self. What
Okay.
would you say to young Sulaiman?
Yeah. Young Cash.
Young Cash
Sounds like a rapper name. So
on SoundCloud.
on SoundCloud. So I'm Sulaiman Hassiem, the Casual Dork. You can catch me on my podcast, the Casual Dork Podcast. On Instagram, it's Casual Dork Podcast. TikTok is Casual Dork Pod. Twitter, it's Casual Dork Pod. And then also YouTube as well, Casual Dork Podcast. So I talk tech, I talk music, I talk internet culture. So if you're interested in learning about any of those things, come and check out my channel. I'm on Spotify, Apple Podcast as well. So if you just search Casual Dork Podcast in Google, I should come up. SEO vibes, what I'd say to my younger self is that you find your space. You find your space and it gets easier. I think the moniker of like dork and geek, wasn't very popular when I was a kid, It was seen as like you're an outcast and that kind of thing. But 2023 is your time, my man. 2023 is your time. Like the geek and dork space becomes popular, right? Because of the way the world goes. So just keep going.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And considering the fact that Rizaan is eating now, I think as the co-host.
He's earned his Koesisters.
He's earned his Koesisters. For the audio listeners, what do you want to say, Rizaan? And if you like this content, please do like, share, subscribe, and please comment down below if you know Casual Dork or any tech news that you want to share with us. Please do comment down below while Rizaan smacks lips.
Yes,
And we
more
out.
content.
Peace.